How's it going, everyone? I have a special guest today, Donnie Druin, the publisher of Fan Nation's All Cardinals, as I am the publisher of Fan Nation's All 49ers. Donnie, thank you so much for giving me some of your time. How are you?
Grant, I'm phenomenal. I'm really enjoying the very natural backdrop behind you. You got a good setup there.
Thank you. It smells nice out here. It feels nice out here. I'm out here for the chi and the feng shui.
Okay, I
Anyway,
love that.
I have 5 questions for you about the Arizona Cardinals. The 3-10, but they've won 2 of their last 4, and they have a new quarterback. Kyler Murray is back. And I want to know, how is the offense different with him on the field than with Josh Dobbs? Dobbs did pretty well against the Niners week 4.
Yeah, they certainly didn't look bad. I know the box score will definitely tell a different story, but I mean, I think that's a big reason why they got Josh Dobbs in the first place, because he's a mobile guy. And to be honest, Grant, the Cardinals offense from week 4, whenever they played San Francisco up until now, doesn't look terribly different. I'd say more than anything, it just looks more dynamic with that top tier athlete like Kyler Murray in the helm. Excuse me, I'm still getting over a cold. Like Kyler loves to use his legs, whereas Josh Dobbs was mobile. They would dial up a handful of like quarterback runs for him, but Kyler really almost like thrives in like creating chaos, getting out of the pocket, making plays for himself. Whereas Josh Dobbs is trying to be a little bit more of that kind of pocket passer. More than anything, I think the ceiling of the Cardinals offense has been raised a little bit with Kyler's athletic prowess, with his ability to make plays, both with his arm pushing the ball down the field and getting it done on the ground with his legs as well.
Okay. Cliff Kingsbury wasn't the most successful coach. Seems like he did the least with the most. Seems like his teams got progressively worse as seasons went on. Then he got fired, and what is he, like a consultant for USC now? Anyway, Jonathan Gannon is in, and Kyle Shanahan really praised him. The Niners are really impressed with how hard the team is playing. What is your evaluation of Jonathan Gannon so far as a head
Yeah,
coach?
when everybody said Gannon was a high energy guy, they were not kidding. And I am telling you, every single day when this man walks into the media room, full of energy, always a 10 out of 10, like ready to go. And I can only imagine what the players' meetings are like. I can only imagine what the staff meetings are like. And I can only imagine what the locker room is like before and after the game, win or loss. Arizona desperately needed a culture change, right? Going from a guy like Cliff Kingsbury, very monotone, very, to a guy who wants to invest in his players, to a guy who wants to change the way things are done for the better in Arizona. Granted, the 3-10 record isn't going to exactly show the whole story. They had to tear things down from the bottom, build it from the way up. And Jonathan Gannon maybe isn't the Cliff Kingsbury air raid, go put up 30 points a game kind of coach. He's not Sean McVay. He's not Kyle Shanahan. But it's just in terms of establishing a new culture for a football team, where guys want to come, where guys want to be successful. I think they're definitely on the right track.
Tell me the Cardinals' biggest strengths on offense and defense.
Yeah, when you look at their strengths on the offense side of the ball, I mean, look no further than James Conner, right? I mean, whenever James Conner was healthier earlier in the year, they were a top 5 rushing attack, right? When teams were stacking the box with Josh Dobbs or Clayton Tune in that quarterback, they were still able to find success running the football. And I think when you run a guy like James Conner 20-25 times a game, not only are you going to move the ball down the field, that opens up so many more things, right? Opens up a lot of play action, a lot of boot action, gets receivers open, and creates openings in the middle of the field for a monster guy like Trey McBride to go and work under, right? So I think the biggest strength for the Cardinals offense is definitely establishing the run. That might be a little bit tough against the 49ers defense, as we've seen previously, right? But just in terms of like a success in the formula to victory, it lives and dies with James Conner. For the defensive side of the ball, Grant, I'm not going to lie. It's very cut and dry for what the Cardinals are good at. What they are good at, they do have a very good tandem at safety with Jalen Thompson and Budda Baker. I feel like there's not been a lot of big explosive plays. That's definitely a big harping point for defensive coordinator Nick Rallis, trying to keep everything in front of you. Don't let anything go over the top. And I think the Cardinals with Thompson, with Budda Baker, do a very, very good job of that.
Interesting. Now, give me the Cardinals' biggest weaknesses on offense and defense.
Yeah, on the offense side of the ball, it feels like there's no alpha in the receivers room, right? I mean, when you look at so many of the great offenses around the league, there's always that guy, right? The Cardinals thought they were going to get that guy in Marquise Brown, not necessarily the case. I mean, they're seeing Trey McBride kind of evolve into that alpha mentality, but there's nobody at the receiver position. They thought it was going to be Michael Wilson, but he's been hurt for practically the last month. And then other than Wilson, I mean, there's Zach Pascal, Rondell Moore, and Greg Dortch, which I mean, they're all finding their own, respect, right? But there's really no solidified Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson kind of guy. And I think that's why you're seeing so much of the Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Arizona Cardinals in mock drafts, which I think would be phenomenal, right? And so you take that and you flip it over to the defensive side of the ball. What isn't a weakness for this team, right? I mean, their front seven has absolutely nobody in it. Kaiser White, a few weeks ago, was placed on injured reserve. He hasn't played since November 19th, and he still leads the team in tackles with 90. The next closest player is Jalen Thompson with roughly 20 less than that.
Oof.
So the heart and soul of their team gone. Their leading tackler gone. Their front seven feels like they'll let anybody go. A $150 and 2 touchdowns on them. Their cornerback room, Marco Wilson is not the starting cornerback in the NFL. They're getting decent production out of 3 other rookies that they've had to rotate between Starling Thomas, Garrett Williams, and Keitrell Clark. But when you're relying on rookies, especially against like the stacked offense like the San Francisco 49ers, that's not just a recipe for success, right? So, and it really feels like, other than Jalen Thompson and Budda Baker, it's just 9 other dudes on the football field for Arizona.
That was scathing. That was excellent, though. Thank you very much. Do the Cardinals have any chance to win this game?
Never say never. I didn't think they were going to beat the Cowboys earlier in the season. I didn't think they were going to go on the road and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers before they went into their bye week. So, the any given Sunday mantra really is true. It would take a lot. It would really take a lot, in my opinion, for... It feels like the 49ers would have to lose the game and not vice versa, right? Like you would really have to rely on the Niners making very rare mistakes multiple times on both sides of the ball in order to come out with a victory. But I mean, it's a divisional battle. They're familiar with the 2023 49ers after playing them already previously in week 4. So I don't want to say never, but I mean, there's a reason why that's the biggest spread in week 15, right?
It's true. Well, look, it was 21-16 late in the third quarter at Levi Stadium with Josh Dobbs, no Budda Baker. So funnier things have happened. Donnie, thank you so much.
Thank you.